I'm now going to hand it over to Josh Coleman, who is Otto's dad, and I'm hoping that Otto will also say a few words for you before we head over and take the petition to Jerry Brown's office. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joshua Coleman, and this is my son Otto. Otto received 6 vaccinations when he was 17 months old, which left him paralyzed by a vaccine-induced autoimmune disorder known as transverse myelitis. The doctors who saw him did not file the appropriate and required report with the Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System, VAERS. No one told me about the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, the VICP, so that we could get a settlement to help pay for the immense added expense of taking care of someone with paralysis. At first I thought Otto was just one of the unlucky few, but as I did research, I started to read many disturbing things. That vaccines are not tested using the scientific gold standard of a double-blind placebo-controlled study, even though the vaccines they use on dogs are tested using this medical standard. They've never even tested what happens when a human being receives multiple combinations of vaccines at one time. Now, I don't know about you, but before someone injects something into my baby, I would like to be reassured that there was thorough testing done and that it was done to the medical standard that is used for every other single medication available. Pat Brown was the governor of California between 1959 and 1967. In 1961, Governor Pat Brown enacted the first personal belief exemption from vaccines in California. Now keep in mind, in 1961, the polio vaccine had only just started being used 5 years prior. So Pat Brown had lived 51 years through the age of polio with no vaccines. He knew what it was like back then, and he still thought it was important for people to have freedom of choice. If a parent chose not to vaccinate their child, they could still attend public school. Now, let's look back on Governor Pat Brown's decision and think about how that worked out. Was that a bad decision? No. In fact, that exemption that he started in 1961 still exists today, 54 years later. Now, after a minor incident at Disneyland, Senators Pan and Allen want Governor Pat Brown's son, Governor Jerry Brown, to eliminate the personal belief exemption that his father started. Senators Pan and Allen say that the incident at Disneyland is proof of why California needs SB 277. They say we need SB 277 to avoid an epidemic. I see the incident at Disneyland very differently. Disneyland is the second busiest business on the planet, with an average attendance of over 40,000 people every single day. Measles is the most contagious airborne disease on the planet. That sounds like a recipe for an epidemic. Those are two major extremes. But what happened? Second busiest business on the entire planet, most contagious airborne disease on the entire planet, and 134 people got a rash, some got a fever, and no one died. That is a success story. That is not a story that should scare anyone. That is proof that we have this 100% under control and that this kind of legislation is absolutely unnecessary. Thank you.
Did you spell your name?
Joshua Coleman, Joshua, Coleman, Coleman, and this is Otto Coleman, Otto.
Please don't take my school away.